Can you believe how far the NFL scouting combine has come since its inception? From its humble beginnings in the early 1980s, it has transformed into one of the most significant and highly anticipated events in the NFL offseason. Each year, fans, coaches, scouts, and players eagerly anticipate this week long showcase of athleticism, skill, and mental toughness. But how did we get here? To understand the origins and evolution of the NFL Combine, we need to first take a deep dive in the history of the event, exploring its creation, growth, and the lasting impact it has had on the NFL and the players that attend it. The roots of the NFL Combine can be traced back to 1977 when three major scouting organizations, National, Blesto, and Quadra Scouting, collaborated to create a unified system to evaluate college players for the NFL Draft. This decision was largely influenced by the growing need for more standardization and efficient way to asset talent. Before the combine's inception, the NFL teams were responsible for conducting their own evaluations of draft prospects, which during this time period became very hard as so many of these teams and players played at these small local colleges with the only coverage being a local newspaper, which made it more challenging and difficult to actually learn who these draft prospects were. Oftentimes, coaches were traveling to different cities for interviews and physical assessments of these athletes, not knowing that a rival team might be looking at the same player or a team might be missing a key player. This process was not only time consuming, but it was also very expensive and would create a logistical headache for many teams. One of the most significant proponents of centralizing the scouting process was Tex Schramm, the president and general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. Schramm saw the inefficiencies in the existing system and proposed to the NFL Competition Committee that the league should centralize the evaluation process to cut costs and improve the accuracy of assessments. His idea was simple: gather the top prospects in one location and evaluate them all under the same roof. This centralization would allow NFL teams to pull their resources together to ensure every prospect was subjected to the same set of physical and mental tests. As Schramm's proposal gained traction, the National Football Scouting, Inc. took their first step towards realizing this vision. In 1982, the NFS held its first National Invitational Camp, the NIC, in Tampa, Florida, bringing together college seniors who were eligible for the NFL Draft. This camp was designed to provide NFL teams with a comprehensive evaluation of each player's physical and mental toughness. This first camp featured 163 invited athletes and was the precursor of what would eventually become the NFL Scouting Combine. It marked the first time that the evaluation of NFL prospects was centralized, providing a streamlined, cost-effective approach to the NFL and scouting players. However, this first NIC wasn't the end of the story. In fact, it was just the beginning of a series of developments that would create the modern NFL Combine. In the years that followed, other scouting organizations would combine to work together to establish their own camps to evaluate draft-eligible players. These camps were separate from the NIC, but they had a similar purpose: to provide teams with an opportunity to assess talent in a pool of players prior to the draft taking place. The NIC would be the first time it was really streamlined and together. Prior to this, in the 70s and 60s, we did see some teams try to combine together and build out their own scouting combines. However, they weren't unsuccessful as players were still missing from many of these events. By the mid-1980s, the three camps, the NIC, Blesto, and Quadra, had grown in size and significance. But there were still some inefficiencies within the system, and the NFL realized that it would be more cost-effective and beneficial to consolidate the camps all into one, which would not only streamline the evaluation process, but provide a single location for all the NFL teams. In 1985, after three scouting organizations agreed to merge, the camps would come together as the NFL Scouting Combine. The Combine quickly became an essential part of the NFL draft process, allowing teams to evaluate players in a standardized setting. Over the next few years, the Combine moved between cities, including Arizona and New Orleans, before permanently settling in Indianapolis in 1987. Now, today, it's held in Lucas Oil Stadium, and each and every year, players come from all over to test their skills and preparedness for the NFL. The Combine is now a week-long event with college athletes performing a variety of physical and mental tests in front of NFL coaches, general managers, and scouts. These tests include things like the 40-yard dash, the bench press, the vertical jump, 3-cone drill, and 20-yard shuttle, as well as interviews and football IQ tests. One of the key components of the Combine has always been the 40-yard dash, as this has become the main go-to to test the speed of an athlete. This is where records have been broken, as well as some surprises have occurred. Despite its significance, the NFL Scouting Combine has not been without its critics. Some argue that the physical tests conducted at the Combine, such as the 40-yard dash and bench press, do not always accurately predict a player's success in the NFL. In fact, many critics, sports writers, and others have said that these tasks can actually be practiced for, making a player's draft stock skyrocket over a player who may actually be a better NFL prospect. Most significantly, in 2004, the Combine's visibility grew when it was first broadcast on national television. Before this, there was always limited coverage, with really only videos coming out of the Combines of players who did something significant. In 2019, ESPN joined the main coverage, providing live broadcasts of the event, including a 2-hour show on ABC. This expansion of media coverage has only helped the NFL Combine grow more and more. In addition to the national combine that you see on television, there are also regional combines that lead into this. This is where players have a chance to focus more regionally and develop their skills and showcase that in front of coaches and GMs to get a chance to showcase their abilities in front of the big stage. This has been a key reason for players to start training early on at the end of their college season. Many start preparing in November and December for the NFL Combine. The NFL Combine has become a key part of sports, and it's only going to grow more and more. What's been your favorite NFL Combine moment? Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear from all of you. Thank you so much for watching Believable Truths.